You can grow your own food in your front yard while still having one of the most beautiful gardens on the block. The key is to combine your annual vegetables and your perennial fruits with beautiful ornamental plants. The decorative plants add color and texture to your garden with their vibrant blooms and varied leaf colors. Your annual vegetables provide you with quick food while your perennial fruits are getting established. Those fruits will be well worth the wait for the food they will produce in the long term. I have a few areas in my front yard that I leave open to plant annual vegetables. One of these areas is along my pathway. I like to plant cabbage here because the bold leaf on the cabbage looks beautiful up against the fine little leaves of the creeping English thyme. You can also see the trunk there of a Japanese maple that leaves out in bright red, and the bold green of the cabbage looks so beautiful in contrast to the red leaves of that Japanese maple. Cabbages, to me, their texture in the garden is similar to one of a hosta with the big bold leaves, except you get to make delicious salads from it or whatever else you like to use your cabbage for. On the other side of the Japanese maple, I'm planting broccolini. My plan for this area is once it gets warm enough to plant some butternut squash underneath the broccolini. The butternut squash will cover the soil, giving me this beautiful green mulch. Once the broccolini is done and succumbs to the summer heat, I will transplant in beautiful zinnia flowers to take over the space to finish off the year. In my opinion, the brassica family, so your cabbages, broccoli, kales, are some of the most ornamentally beautiful spring vegetables, followed closely by a colorful lettuce blend. Just because we're in the front yard doesn't mean we can't experiment with interplanting. One of my favorite summer vegetables to plant out into my front yard is peppers. But peppers don't like to be outside until the nighttime temperatures are nice and warm. This year, I'm experimenting with some widely spaced broccoli planted in between where I plan to put the peppers. One perennial crop I've been looking forward to planting in my front yard is strawberries. I've picked a June-bearing strawberry over an ever-bearing strawberry for my front yard because I need to cover my strawberries in order to keep the squirrels from eating them. And June-bearing strawberries put the crop on all at once, which just makes netting things easier. While the bare roots are getting rehydrated, I want to take you into the kitchen and show you this flat of strawberries that I got for $20, 12 pounds of strawberries for $20. It's a good idea while perennials are getting established to learn how you would use and preserve those crops. One way I like to preserve strawberries is by making strawberry jam. To make my strawberry jam, I wash and cut my strawberries, then place them on a baking sheet in a single layer. Then I take a potato masher and I mash them up really, really well. I don't like big chunks of strawberry in my jam, so I want my chunks to be as fine as I can get them with the potato masher. Once all the strawberries have been mashed, I move over to the stove where I measure 4.5 cups of mashed strawberries into my pot. Then I add pectin crystals to the pot and bring the whole mixture to a boil. Once I have reached the boiling part, I add 7 cups of sugar and mix it in real well. My little assistant did a wonderful job with the stirring. While the jam is returning to a rolling boil, I prep my jars by cleaning them with hot soapy water. Once the jam has been boiling vigorously for a minute, I pull it off the stove and let it cool slightly, mixing consistently and scooping off any foam. Then I fill up the jars with the jam. I'm measuring to make sure that I have left a 1/4 inch of headspace. I place a new lid on top of the jar and secure it with a band, and then into the canner we go. I will be processing the jam for 10 minutes. While our jam is processing, let's get back into the garden to get those bare root strawberries planted. I want to plant these strawberries at the very front of my garden. In order to do that, I need to remove a little bit of the grass. I take a step edger and create a new front line to the bed. I pick up the grass, shake off the dirt, and dispose of the grass. Along with the strawberries, I plan to plant some colorful annuals so that there is color in this area all season long. Strawberries are one of the perfect plants to plant at the front of your border. They are low growing, They have beautiful little flowers that you can get in white, red, or pink, and they can come in single bloom or double bloom. And there's very few people I have ever met that don't enjoy eating a fresh strawberry. Other perennial fruits I have planted in my front yard are apple trees, one of which that is covered in blooms. I'm really hoping we get an apple or two this year. I have a small little peach tree. What I love about peach trees is their blooms are absolutely beautiful in their vibrancy of color. On the back side of the garden, I have a small hedge of low bush blueberries, which is our native blueberry here. And by the foundation of the house, I have planted some high bush blueberries. This is a proven winter variety, and the leaf color on this blueberry is yellow. So it's edible and it's ornamental, which is definitely a plus for the front yard. The jam is done processing, and look at that color. You can hear the happy sound of the pinging jars. I let the jam rest on the counter overnight, and then the next day I label, remove the lids, and test to make sure that the jars are well sealed. I only had one jar that did not seal well, which is perfectly fine. It means jam for the fridge today. Thank you, and see you in the next one.